after he spoke with the boss was smiling and said, you know what, Moshe, I deserve it, 100%. How much you want? He said, listen, I need 25% more. He's coming back home, so smiling, and you're not going to believe it. His wife, Eshet Chaim, they put for him a beautiful dinner. With champagne, with candles, romantic, something nice. Hand in hand in the house, sitting down together. And then you see a beautiful letter on the table. He opened the letter, never romantic. Dear husband, I always knew that you deserve it. I have no doubt that they're going to say yes. I love you very much. He was so mesmerized. Such a Eshet Chaim, such a wife. I mean that the wife is going to bring dinner. From the dress of the wife, another letter fell down. She didn't recognize, but it was another that fell down. He saw it right away. And maybe what did he do? He went to pick up the letter and he opened the letter. And what's the second letter said? Dr. Manu, listen to this letter. And the second letter, the wife said, my dear husband, no matter that they didn't give you the raise, you know, but I love you unconditionally. In my eyes, you are the greatest human being in the world. And I love you with all my heart. Together we start to cry. What do we need in life? What do we need in life? We need someone to love us, at least one person, unconditionally. I love you for who you are. You know how difficult it is to find in a marriage life? We grew up in systems that I love you because. I love you because you're smart. I love you because you're washing dishes. You're making food. I love you because you're beautiful. I love you because you bring me money. I love you. It's always because. It's always conditioned to our love. A minute that something is going wrong, we're going ballistic. Where do we see it? In our generation, when people just got married, in the 4th year, they have so much fights, so much argument. And I said, I don't understand. You just got married. Yes, all right. But I didn't know that he's like this. And I don't like him going with his friends. I don't like when he's smoking. You're only 3 months married. When exactly you've proven that you really love him, despite all the downside, the deficiency that the person has? Are we really loving each other? Love meaning to accept the others, men or ladies, the way you are. If you cannot accept your spouse with all the deficiency, then you don't love him, you love yourself. I'm going to talk about change, and this is the topic of today. But before we're talking about change, we have to realize one thing. You know what is Chodesh Elul? According to Hasidut, Elul and the Litvish society and the Musar movement is a month of fear, shivering. Aryeh Ishag Milo Ira. When a lion is walking, who is not going to be afraid? How do you write lion in Hebrew? How do you write lion? Aryeh. Aryeh is Aleph, Resh, Yud, Hey. You know what lion stands for? Aleph, Elul. Resh, Rosh Hashanah. Yud, Yom Kippurim. Hey, Hoshana Rabbah. When these 4 holidays is coming, who is not going to be afraid? A month, we have exactly 40 days before Yom Kippurim. 30 days before Rosh Hashanah. A month that reminds all of us that in 30 days from now, I'll tell you something that I remember from Orlando, Florida. I was a rabbi in Orlando, Florida 20 years ago, 21 years ago. I remember one incident that's sitting down in my mind. And mind me that this is what Elul is all about. There was 5 guys that walked into the restaurant, happened to be the time the one that was in charge of the kashrut of that restaurant. So I have to be there. I'm looking at these 5 guys. They look like very wealthy people, according to the watch, to the suit, the way that they sit in, the car that they're driving. America, here we come. And they sit down, and they order food that is not wrong. The most expensive items in the menu. They didn't look. They came out to average restaurant. Okay, the restaurant was not fancy schmancy. And still the bill came out $500. Do you know what you want to come to average restaurant? They order champagne, wine, steaks, anything in the menu they order. And you know what I remember what? Not because of the money. Because none of them ate anything. They left all the food, including the wine, and nobody touched anything. And they left. And I'm looking. I said, I don't understand. But the shit. We're not allowed to throw food to the garbage. And the Holocaust, who knows what is food? For one piece of bread. To take $500 and put it in the bread, I was so upset. I came to the owner of the restaurant. They said, I don't know what is happening with this nonsense. These normal people, they came in, they ordered $500 and they didn't even took a sip. Not even a sip of the wine. They took the most expensive wine that exists. They took mistakes and nobody touched. He said, Rabbi Vaknin, always judge and favor. I said, okay, so maybe you can enlighten my kind of thing. What exactly they did? He said, Rabbi Vaknin, there are 20 Jews, and they are the main five, that opened a bank, fake bank in Orlando, in Florida. And they stole over $80 million with this bank. 80 million. It was at that time the biggest hit that Florida ever had. 5 Jews and 20 altogether. That 5, the brain one, was these 5 guys. 5 Jews. They opened a bank fake bank, and they stole $80 million. And he said, Vaknin, tomorrow is the judge. Tomorrow is the courthouse. Tomorrow they have to decide. And most likely, all of them is going to go to between 10 to 20 years in the jail. How can you eat when tomorrow you know that? And that morning, 3 of them succeed to run away to Brazil. They made a fake passport. In Brazil, you know that Brazil does not have any agreement with the United States. Anyone that did criminal act and ran to Brazil, as long as it doesn't leave Brazil, nobody can do nothing. 3 of them ran away to Brazil. And I came back and I said to the judge, this is what Chodesh Elul, nobody talk about. Chodesh Elul remind us that in 20 days from now, we're all going to stand up in the courthouse. And the question is not going to be how many years you're going to be in the jail. The question is, who is going to be alive and who's not? 3 weeks ago, Michael Nissanov, a young boy in the age of 20, passed away. You know when exactly the decision that he's going to pass away happened? He passed away from the sickness. It didn't happen 2 weeks ago, or not 3 weeks ago, and not 6 months ago. You know when exactly happened? Last year, בראש השנה. בראש השנה יכתבו, וביום כיפור יכתבו, מן החיים מן המוות. מן העושר ומן העוני. When we sit down and relax, we feel so comfortable with ourselves. We have to remember that in 3 weeks, we're going to go, if you want it or not. And I have to tell you a secret. You cannot run away to Brazil. Because the owner, the judge, is the owner of the world. And no matter which place you can run in the world, the owner is the owner of the world. He's going to be, and they have agreement with him, and any place you're going to go. So you cannot go into Brazil. You cannot bribe the judge. You cannot make the Jew disappear. You cannot use the mafia. Go back down. And 3 weeks from now, we're going to stand up once again. And the question is going to be, next year, are you going to be alive? Next year, you're going to have shalom bayit. Next year, you're going to have children or not. How is going to be your parnasah next year? This is the question that's going to be. Are we ready for this call? Are we ready to come and to say, God, we come to the courthouse with confidence? So the first thing I will tell you, Amelech Basadeh. In Chassidut, even though Chodesh Elul is a severe month, Chassidut come and tell you, the king is in the field. You know what I mean? The king is in the field. The king, the Almighty God come, and every day of Yom Kippur, we have Rosh Chodesh Elul, we have 13 midot arachamim. Every day in this month, we have only mercy. Come the Almighty God and tell you, I know that you have to change, but I still love you unconditionally. It's so nice to know that our Father, Rabbi Shabbat loves us unconditionally. Every human being needs to know. Every human being needs to know that at least one person, your wife or your husband, love you unconditionally. This is the first approach. This is the first set of mind that we have to have when we're walking into Chodesh Elul. Chodesh Elul, the Almighty God loves us unconditionally. With all the negativity, with all the Lashon Hara that we spoke throughout the years, with all the movies that we watched that we didn't supposed to, with all the vacation that we went and it was a longer vacation to go, with all the nonsense and all the anger and all the laziness, with all the days that you didn't wake up to minyan and you have no reason. One thing is I studied on the vacation, and that one is, don't tell me you cannot wake up in minyan. Tell me you don't want it. How many times I call people and say, listen, come, every morning we have here minyan, 6:45 selichot, with coffee, cakes, inspiring mood. We have tefillah, amazing experience. And people said, Rabbi, I cannot. Don't tell me I cannot. Don't tell me you cannot. I will prove it to you because we moved 4 countries. We went into London, from London to France, from France to Madrid, and from Madrid to Barcelona. From Barcelona back to New York. And you know what's happening in all these 4 countries? The flight was 7 o'clock. And you know what's meant to have flight at 7 o'clock? You have to be there 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock in the airport, meaning 4 o'clock you have to wake up. 7 people, 5 children. And you know, they come and go. We never miss one flight. Why? Because the something is a good feeling. 4 o'clock. Then you children, you're going to Mikro. Then you children, we're going to Orlando. 3 o'clock in the morning. Hashem Melech, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Did you need to wake the children? They wake up. They will never let you sleep. They didn't go to sleep. They are excited the whole day. Tell you, if I'm going to tell each one of you, tomorrow morning or every morning you're going to wake up. You have $500 cash ready for you. Who doesn't wake up? 5 o'clock. Ben Adam Malechani. $500. Listen. Imagine yourself if you get every morning. Every morning the Almighty God is in the synagogue, waiting for each one of you. Private meetings with Hashem. Don't tell me you cannot work with it. Tell me you don't want it. Because if you want it, nothing will ever interfere to wake up and do it. We're coming into Yom Kippur. We're coming into Rosh Hashanah. We're already in the mix of Chodesh Elul. We have to do the Shema. We have to wake up. It's a time to wake up between the relationship between us and God, and between the relationship with our husband, our wife. So what do we have to do? What do we have to do? Now that we understand that we wake up, do you know what's the secret of Rosh Chodesh Elul? You know what the secret of Rosh Chodesh Elul? Rosh Chodesh Elul, the secret is, the secret of Rosh Chodesh Elul is, Ani ledodi vedodi li. What's the last letter of Ani? The last letter? Yud. Ani ledodi, what's the last letter? Yud. Vedodi, what's the last letter? Yud. Li, what's the last letter? Yud. What's the common ground in this Yud? Yud. Yud is how much? From Rosh Chodesh Elul until Yom Kippurim, we have 40 days. 40. If you're going to ask a person, somebody will ask you this thing, which number behind is the most luckiest number in Judaism? Simcha, which number is the most luckiest number in Judaism? Michael, which number? They said 18, some people said 26, 101, what else? 8, above nature, what I call it? You know which number? Which number mentioned most in the Bible, in the Torah? 40. You know what's 40? 40 days was the flood. The flood was for 40 days. What else?
40 years.
40 years in the desert. What else? 40 seah for the mikveh. Beautiful. Moshe Rabbeinu, 40 days went the first time, 40 days the second times, and 40 days the last 3 times 40. By the way, Moshe Rabbeinu's life was divided to 40. The first 40 years, according to most of the opinion, he was in the house of Pharaoh. 40 until 80, he was in Midian. And 80 until 120, he came to redeem the Jews. Again, the number 40 divided. The most luckiest number in Judaism in the Bible is what? The number 40. If this is so, why? Why 40 is so strong? Ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you what the Gemara said. The Gemara said, if let's say a man wants to have at least one baby boy, you know the story? This Moroccan guy that he had 7 daughters. 7 daughters. One after one. He came to his wife and he said, that's enough. If you bring me another daughter, I'm leaving the house. No, no. Enough, that's it. I'm trying, Shalom Bayit. Give me one baby boy, one baby boy. I'm giving you the whole 9 months she's there, she's praying to God, please God. Make sure this time it's going to be a baby boy. At least one to carry the name. The second is at least one. The child came, and the doctor came, Mr. Buzako, בשעה טובה, you have a baby? Go. He's getting upset, Charlie. No way! There's no way! He's screaming, Charlie. I'm leaving the house! I'm leaving him! Now, the nurse told them that. The doctor came right away. He said, Mr. Buzako, why are you screaming? He said, this nurse come to me and tell me that I have another one. I have only 7 of them. I asked one. The doctor said, can you relax? What's the number that you have? You check, you know, every baby that comes, you check the baby number, and you check the father number, the number. He said, no, I'm so sorry, they have made a mistake. It's not the same number. He's going into the room with the foot of the babies, he's searching for the number. He come back, he said, Mr. Buzako, I'm sorry for the mistakes, you have a baby boy. And he's looking at his wife, see. If you're not screaming, nothing happens. 7 days of scoring, you know. Sometimes you have to scream. You have to scream. You have to scream. Screaming. You have to scream. If this is so, by the way, if this is so, what's the luckiest number 40? I will tell you. The luckiest number 40 is if your wife got pregnant and you just knew it in the first week. How many days you have to change the gender of the baby? 40 days. The Gemara said after 40 days, that's it. Either if he's a girl, it's going to be a girl. If he's a boy, he's a boy. You cannot change it except Leah. Leah that changed. She prayed inside and she changed because she was supposed to have 7 children out of respect. To Rachel, she changed it to become Dinah. She changed the gender, but in general, the Gemara said, why? 40 create reality. Gentlemen, ladies, this is so. If a person wants to change anything in life, Chodesh Elul is a beginning. You know that it's a beginning? Chodesh Elul in the calendar is which month is that? The last month of the year, right? It's like Chodesh Elul is what? The last month, right? Chodesh Tishrei is what? The first month. I'm going to ask you a question, and you know that anyone that knows the answer will get free lunch and any restaurant you want. Sponsored by the Shalom. One of them definitely going to agree. Okay. Michael said, go to the lawyer. This week was a good way to lawyer. Okay. Jonathan, they said that this week. Any restaurant, you and your wife, you can go if you know the answer. But this is a bomb question. This is the question. If Chodesh Tishrei is the beginning of the year, And that question, Emmanuel, you cannot find in Jamaican mistakes. Only in the BJCs here. If anyone in Jamaica State knows the answer, it's getting free. You're not a joke. Listen to the question. If Chodesh Tishrei is the fourth month, how come the name Tishrei is the last letter in the alphabet? Tishrei, Taf. And if Chodesh Elul is the end of the month, how come we start with Aleph? It's supposed to be vice versa. Chodesh Tishrei was supposed to be Elul. And Chodesh Elul was supposed to be Tishrei. We don't know. You think, you're not alone, nobody's going to do this. I see sweating, suddenly he's going next to the air conditioner. Yes, you want to become the sponsor or you want to answer?
Does it have to do with the Aleph Bet coming in to speak to Hashem before creation?
Yes, if you read. That's what we spoke about. No. Beautiful answer, but it's not. Yes, but I'm going to tell you different. Different answer is a message to life. It's a message to life. And I wish that you're going to take this message. Yes. Yes, David, the president and the CEO of Coffee Club. Yes. And then okay. Not bad. And no, half an answer is only falafel.
What did she say?
Rabbi, what did she say?
Okay. Yes.
Because like you said, there's not at the end, even in the beginning of the year, there's no such thing as the end.
I'm going to combine this. And Tishrei, no, I'm going to say the answer. In Tishrei, even though you're in the beginning, they said, Eizeru Chacham, Aroeh et Adonai. A minute that you start Tishrei, you have to ask yourself, what's going to be, where exactly I'm going to be, and then we'll do it.
That's like a Shlomo.
Was a negotiation? After the class, go to the room. You're going to get a letter soon. What do you think that you're doing? Okay? And Tishrei, a person has to come with the attitude. Even though when we are in the beginning, what do we have to have? What exactly is going to be in the end? A wise man is a man that's in the end. He's a man that's a few steps ahead. A wise man, when Chodesh Tishrei comes, where exactly I'm going to stand up? Missy David, the almost touched that, beautiful. Where exactly I'm going to stand up and then Elul. When you finish the year, you have to remember. God gave us a gift. And the gift name is Elul. You want the gift of Elul? To start from the beginning. To have a new and a fresh start. In life, that gift does not exist. When you come to the world and you're 6 years old, and then you're 7, you will never go back to before. You're moving forward. A minute that you start to walk, it's not going to happen that you're going to stop walking. Right? Why? Because now you can walk. You remember the time that you saw children, baby, they're cooling, they cannot walk? And the minute that they start to walk, what? You're going to see the child cooling down. A minute that the child moves forward, and he doesn't need bathroom anymore, he doesn't have the diapers. He's not going to go back to diapers because this is the nature. A minute that you start to make money and big money, you're not going to go backward. In life, nobody go backward. Nobody go from the beginning. Life is moving on, except the Jewish calendars. And the Jewish calendar, we call it Shana. What's a Shana? Shinun. Shinun in English meaning redundant. Every year we go back to the beginning. Why? God is teaching us. The secret of Shalom Bayit is to open a new page. To put everything behind and literally to open a new page. How difficult it is for us, being a human being, when your husband comes to you and said, I'm sorry. how difficult it is to really forgive. Yes, you might gonna forgive, but you will never forget. A man that is gonna do mistake. What? You see, I told you would never change. Your father was a priest. You can't find a priest. All your family. This is your nature. I always knew that you never change. How do you want him to change? Uplifting mood. This is the emet. God is coming to us. And listen to what Halacha said. Yom Kippur mechaper avonot sheben adam lamakom. Any sin that a person did, eating not kosher, breaking Shabbat, didn't put the tefillin, no matter, didn't wake up in minyan, any sin that you did between you and God, God erased, and you will never mention it again. You will never be counted for these sins again. A minute that you did tshuva, God put it behind. Chodesh Elul is a month of Aleph. Aleph is beginning. We have the ability, and we have to be so happy and we can smell it. It's so easy to wake up people to come to Minyan. It's so easy to come and to ask people to do the Shuvah, to uplift. Why? Because do you know when is the best time to make diet? Ladies and gentlemen, when is the best time of the year to make diet? I saw it. I saw it, Rabbi. I should have mentioned it. Beautiful. November 1 is the first. You're going to look in Google when the word diet comes the most. 80% more from normal is November 1. You know why? In the beginning, even the beginning of the year of the Goyim, nothing have to do with that. Every time you hear the word beginning, sense and a new power coming in to make a change. Rosh Hashanah is the beginning. Come Rosh Chodesh Elul and tell you, you start from now. 40 days before you have the ability to recreate yourself. So what do you have to do? What do you have to do? And I'm going to finish this. The first thing is stop. Stop blaming others for your mistakes. We are so expert to blame the wife. We are so expert to blame the husband. We are so expert to blame our children or anyone around us for our mistakes. The first thing is stop blaming others. If it's anything that Shuvah is coming to teach you, Chatati, Aviti, Pashati. Ani Chatati, Ani Aviti, Ani Pashati. I'm taking full responsibility for my mistakes. When you come in to ask forgiveness, and this is another part, you have to realize that it was your mistakes. No, you know, every time you're trying to tell something to your husband, you know, ladies, did you realize that we are the husband expert? You come to blame us, and we have the ability to flip it, and then after you 5 minutes later, you're the one that say, I'm sorry. I don't understand. You came in to blame your husband, but we have the ability to flip it in such a way. Professionally, because of you didn't do this, and yesterday you did. באמת, I'm sorry. And how did it change? That from him asking them, so we are expert not to blame ourselves. You know who was the first one to do that? Adam Rishon. We continue heritage. When God came to Adam and said, why do you eat from the tree? What Adam said? My wife. And then the wife said the snakes. But who's the first one? The first rule in Teshuvah. If you're coming into Chodesh Elul, the first rule of Teshuvah is to remember, take responsibility. Do not blame others. And by the way, do not excuse yourself. Do not find excuses for your failures. Excuse doesn't mean to blame yourself. You know why I'm not successful? Because I came to from this family. My family was not rich, my family is not rich. You know what's the difference between successful human being to non-successful? Non-successful have 1,000 excuses, right? Successful have no excuses. He's working very hard to get to his goal. Don't find an excuse why you didn't wake up in the morning. Just wake up. Wake up and come to me. Do not find an excuse why you didn't put it together. Why Shabbat is so difficult. We have 30 days or 40 days before Yom Kippur to make a difference. Wake up. Don't find any excuse. Number 3, compromise to be average human beings. Most of us come with the attitude to Rosh Hashanah, I'm not so bad. I'm not so bad, but there's always worse people. In a relationship, every time you tell something to your husband, what do you want? Do you know my friends? They are 10 times worse. You know I'm going to do what he's doing. Are you thinking that I'm worse? 1 second, if you're going to read. Who said that I got married with the average human being? I choose you because I want you to be the best. You coming in to Rosh Hashanah, accepting yourself something that will change your life. Stop being average. Nobody likes to sit in economy class. Why not? You know it's so nice when you get your ride when you have a business class, especially first class. You walk in the special line. What is the feeling? What's the feeling? You're smiling all the way there. You walk in the special line. Suddenly you feel unique, right? You know, to be economy class is economy, not that bad, but it's still economy. Do not be average in life. You want to be successful? Shoot to the highest. You want to have a good shalom life? Shoot to the highest. What I'm doing, I'm just taking the garbage. No, not doing it. I'm doing only dinner. No, not doing it. Shoot to the highest in relationship. Stop complaining and start action. Action speak much louder from any word. This month is a month that we can start to complain with each other and we can start to take upon ourselves much more actions. When I say actions, I'm talking about we're going to come into Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. And the Chazal said, U'tshuva, u'tfilah, u'tzedakah, ma'avirim Torah v'zerah. Not only in Shalom Bayit, in your own personal life, I will ask all of you, and I will encourage all of you. Really, we have to add in these three paths. Tshuva, tefillah, u'tzedakah. You know what means tshuva? Tshuva is to say I'm sorry. Tshuva is to say, God, I want to be back. Tshuva is to accept yourself in the next 40 days to work in your anger management. You see, what's the difference between rabbis to a marriage counselor or psychology or professors? You know what's the difference? They are the ones that making the money. You know why they're making money and the rabbi is not? I will tell you why. Because they focus on your past. When you're going into psychology, the first thing she's telling you, can you share with me the way that you grew up in the house? Now, sharing the way that your father acted with you, because you want to go to the root, meaning 10 session minimum. 10 session, $350 every session. He already made close to $4,000 in his pocket. You have to go into the back. Chodesh Elul, do not be stuck in the past. Move to the future. We are here to fix. It's important to learn from the past, but don't be stuck in the past. Move to the future. And the future is what? I accepted myself God to do the Shuvah. To do the Shuvah at least in one items. At least to accept myself, to put the filin. But you're going to tell me, Rabbi, I put the filin. To accept myself minyan. But you're going to tell me, Rabbi, I wake up every morning to minyan. So listen to what the Shtar Kadosh said. And many other rabbis. You know what? You know what's the test of people that wake up in minyan, wake up to Selichot, wake up in the net? You know what? To stay until the last Kaddish in the tefillin. Anyone that leaves before have no faith. The Shtar Kadosh said, have no faith in God. Why you leave before and then you say, why? Run into business, I don't understand. Are you going to lose? You know what the sages said when you said Alenu Shabbat? All the angels in heaven jumping. Ashrei Ha'am shekach lo. How fortunate is God that he has such a children. And he said Alenu Shabbat. I will tell you how important is Alenu Shabbat. Alenu Shabbat, how do you say Alenu? What's the first letter? Ein. And what's the first letter? The last letter, I'm sorry? Dalet. Al-Ken, what's the first letter? Ein. Dalet. Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. Dalet. What's it? Ein, Dalet, Ein, Dalet? Ed, Ve'ed. How many witnesses you need? Every time you say Adin Shabbat in the morning, you have two witnesses that you came to Minyan. You left before Adin Shabbat, you have no witnesses. No witnesses, you never did nothing. You never did nothing. You're missing the witnesses. Now you're going to come after 120 years, they're going to tell you, can you prove us that you wake up to Minyan? I wake up to Selichut. I had Shiur Torah. I came to Shacharit. You have witnesses? My wife. Your wife is פסול. My children, your children, they're your children. Give me witnesses. The rabbi got said that before we give him he's also, we give him donation, but the only witnesses is Aleinu Shabeach. And we miss it. Tshuva meaning to increase, to accept and accept mitzvah. And to do it in the best way. Do not just do it. Do it right. Nike said just do it. And Rabbi Vaknin said do it right. Don't do it right. Do it right. You do something, do it the best way possible. You come to the synagogue in the morning, pray until the end. How many times when your wife is asking you to wash dishes? And between of us guys, you know how we wash dishes. And hope is that she will never ask. We put water.
Cold water.
Don't reveal all the secret, please. What did I say? Do not just do it. Do it right. Tshuva meaning I'm going to accept myself mitzvah. And I will do it. This is the tshuva. Tefillah meaning to increase a prayer. To add. And Chabad, they have a tradition from the Bashim to the Kadosh, every day to add 3 chapters of Tehillim. Every day. Add 1 chapter. Add 3 chapters. Add some in the Tefillah 18. When you said Refaenu, Barech Aleinu, Selach Lanu, Ashivenu, God made us teshuvah. Stop and pause a second and be me'ar'el and all the averot that you ever did that year. And said, Hashem, I'm asking forgiveness. Have a little kavanah in your prayer. Teshuvah is forgiveness, accepting a mitzvah. Tefillah is something to do with tefillah. And tzedakah is to increase the level of charity. If until now you didn't give 10%, accept the mitzvah. Accept the mitzvah. If you give 10%, add another 1%, another 2%. Add something tzedakah. If money is difficult for you, no problem. It's the different way to give tzedakah. One of the things that Dr. Emmanuel said, beautiful, is to hire Jewish people in your business. To help someone to have a job is the highest level of charity, by the way. Yeah. It's better for any money that you give. Tzedakah meaning go to visit Bikur Cholim. Tzedakah meaning make sure that somebody will have food in Shabbat, that you know that they are orphan widows. Tzedakah. This month we have to increase in these 3 levels. Last but this. It's a little difficult, but I'm going to mention it. We still have 4 minutes to go. I'm going to give you a gift. And that gift is anyone that will do it. Guarantee. Guarantee that is not going to die this year. Anyone that will do it. Guarantee to be alive until 120. Guarantee that your rates 100 courses every day, and you're going to get 100 blessings on a daily basis. God will bless you every day 100 blessings. If you're just going to do what I'm doing, guarantee that you will never see any sickness and any doctor in your life. You will never have a COVID-19 monkey cheek or monkey part, I don't know which one it is. Guarantee to have a long life and a healthy life. Guarantee. Guarantee to get Yirat Shamayim. Yirat Shamayim meaning fear of God. Guarantee. If you're going to do this one, guarantee to get all the key for 100 doors of blessing. Listen to what the Zohar Kadosh writes. The Zohar Kadosh writes, every neshama, every soul in this room that came here to this world, before the soul came here, the Zohar Kadosh writes, the soul came to God and said we don't want to come down. God said, why not? Said we are afraid from the only items, from the only human being, actually not human being, from the only angel that exists in this world. By the way, what's the name of this angel that every soul is afraid? Malach HaMavet, the angel of death. So God said, don't worry, stop crying, I have a key for you. I'm going to give you 100 keys. 100 keys to open 100 doors. And if you're going to use it, even Malach HaMavet cannot touch you. Where do we see it? By the way, the first one to use this key is the first Jew. Do you remember the first Jew? What's the name of the first Jew? What's the name of the first Jew? Abraham Avinu. What's the first commandment that God gave Abraham Avinu? What's the first commandment?
Break all idols.
Lech Lecha. God is telling Abraham Avinu, go away. What Abraham Avinu was expert for? Expert. Hospitality, right? Did you ever ask why hospitality? If I was Abraham Avinu, I would destroy. If I was Abraham Avinu, I would open a synagogue, bring everybody to synagogues. Why Abraham Avinu did hospitality? Tonight I'm going to tell you the secret. What's the first commandment of Abraham Avinu? Lech Lecha. How much is Lech? Lamed Chaf is how much? 50. Lecha is how much? 50. 50 plus 50 is how much? God is telling Abraham Avinu, I'm giving you these 100 keys. Your job is to spread. You know what the name of these 100 keys? This is הלכה בשולחן ערוך. חייב אדם בכל יום לברך 100 ברכות. A person have to bless men and women. By the way, according to Chabad, woman is also obligated. You also need is obligated to make 100 Baruch Ata Hashem. A person have to bless God 100 times a day. It's obligation. And if you're going to do it, lech lecha. Because of that, Abraham will give food. Why? Because food, every food. ברוך שפרו המנזונות, שהכל יהיה טהור, המוציא, נטילת ידיים, ברכת המזון, 6 ברכות. Every second he give wine, because Abraham Avinu wanted to make sure that everybody will get what? To the lucky number 100. You know who is the second one that did it? You know who is the second one? Who is the second one that did it? Yitzchak Avinu. How do you know? What did the Pasuk say in Yitzchak? ויטע יצחק בארץ ההיא 100 שערים ויברכהו השם. And Yitzchak planned and opened 100 gates, and God blessed him. Who is number 3 that did it? Yaakov. How do you know that Yaakov? Esav came against Yaakov with how many soldiers? How many angels? 400. Tell me, every time we mention the name of God, Baruch Atah Hashem, how many letters is the name of God? 4, right? Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? The merciful name of God is 4, right? Yud Kei Vav Kei. 100 times 4 is how much? Yaakov Avinu went to fight by saying 100 parabot. When he said 100, he actually came in to 400 against 400 of the soldiers. Who is the one that made 100 parabot? The first one is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he broke the tablets, the letters Samech and Mem came out. You know why Samech and Mem? Because Samech and Mem was American letters. Do you know why Samech and Mem was so unique? How do you write Samech? Anything in the middle? How do you write Mem? Mem Sofit. Anything in the middle? Now, the Luchot in the tablet, the letter was engraved. If I engrave Samech, how did the middle stay? If I engrave Mem, how did the middle stay? The only 2 letters that is no logic, that it was American letters, it was Samech Mem. When Samech Mem came out, Samech Mem is what? The name of the devil, in a short version. Samech Mem is the name of the Samuel, שמסמם את האמונה עליו to say it at night. But Samech Mem is the shortcut for the name of the devil. Moshe Rabbeinu got so frightened. He didn't know what to do. You know what he did? He made 100 parachutes. You know why? Because God told them the only way to fight the devil is 100 blessings. You want to have the Rosh Hashanah and have guarantee? He said, God, you have to give me a life. You know why? Because I came Wednesday night, 3 weeks before Rosh Hashanah, or 4 weeks before Rosh Hashanah, and Rabbi Vaknin gave us the gift of life. What's the gift of life? Tshuva, Tefillah, what's the cup of the highest one? Is to say every day 100 blessings. Why? How much is Samech? 60. How much is Mem?
40.
When you say 100 blessings, even the devil that is 100 cannot come. The devil cannot touch you. When David HaMelech in each generation, 100 Jewish boys used to die every day. David HaMelech came to Shmuel and said, Prophet Samuel, what exactly am I supposed to do? What Prophet Samuel told him? Make 100 blessings. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's very easy to do 100 blessings. I mean, you came here today, you made maybe 3 or 4 blessings. How do you get to 100? I will tell you how easy is that. If you wake up in the morning, right? When you wake up in the morning, what do we do? Modern. After that, we have Birkot HaShachar. You know how many is Birkot HaShachar? 20. 15, the blessing of the Shachar, plus Al Netilat Yadayim, plus Asher Yatzar, plus 3 Birkot HaTorah. How much? 20. You just open your eyes, you already have 20 blessings. Baruch Atah, Baruch Atah. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me the ability to see. Thank you. You already have 20, covered, right? Now, if you pray 3 times a day, 18, Shacharit, Mincha, and Arbit, you know how many blessings we have in each one of them? 19 plus 19 plus 19. You know how much is that? 57. 57 plus 20 is how much? We are already 77 in. We have Tefillin, we have Talit, we are already 59. We have Baruch She'amar, we have Ishtabach, 81. 81, we are already there, right? Now we have 4 blessings in Kriyat Shema in the night and 3 blessings in the morning, 88. We are already 88. If you are Israeli, it's so easy. Because what's the difference between Israelis and not Israeli and American, perhaps? American, they don't like bread. Israeli with no bread is no meal. I mean, we don't like kids so much, but bread, every Seudah, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, bread meaning Birkat Hamazon. Birkat Hamazon meaning 6 blessings. Twice you eat bread a day, 12. We are ready in 1 or 2. Now, שהכל נהיה בדברו. אשר יצא, when you come out from the bathroom, שהכל נהיה בדברו maybe 10 or 15 times a day. Now, yeah, we are already in 120. We didn't do anything special. We just doing everything regular. You don't even have to come to Minyan. You don't even have to come to Minyan. You look around, wow, 100 כבוד הרב, you make me very close. Why? You make me black heart. Enough, let my people go. They're in 3 countries. Gentlemen, you didn't do nothing and you're already in 100. You're already in 120. What's the big deal? I'm giving you life. You come to Rosh Hashanah and you said, בורא עולם זכרנו לחיים. מלך חפץ בחיים. God, give us life. You know why? Because they did 100 blessings a day. Thank you very much. Ladies that eat, that have to pray only once. So maybe this month is good that you're going to pray 3. Or regarding to ladies, they have 2 options. Either she have to eat a lot and make a lot of berachot. Don't worry, the calories is on the house. Either that, or either שומע כהונה. שומע כהונה. If she's coming to the or she eat the husband, and she say amen, they have a concept. שומע, no, עונה כמברך. עונה כמברך. Meaning, when you say amen, you can feel that you hear. So you have to eat at least 50 or 40 you have to eat that. רבי חנניה בן הקשה אומר, anyone that wants to sponsor next week, please bring all your friends. Next week we're going to do it. Hopefully, Khuda Bashur in the top floor. It's going to be available. Anyone that wants to bring to sponsor next week, let me know. אדוני קופץ במצווה, יגיד, תורה ויגיד.
צדיקים וירושלים.
Guys, everybody pray that on each way.
Similarly, I will watch that.
You have minyan?
I want to die. I can't
You have somebody.
I turned off my hotspot and there was a family on my hotspot.
Guys, you want to stay for minyan or shalom bayit?
I fixed it, but
Five straight.
but it is basically, I'm not sure about it, so I had a backup over there.
Not before we should. Not this year.
Oh, I'm gonna have to pull it up.
Good, are you, man? Yeah.
I'm experimenting with new stuff. I have a new mic, so I have a backup just in case. This was the backup over here, and I had the whole room in it.